Hello there, everyone. My name is Oversoul. This is Oversoul Gaming, and welcome to Alan Wake 2. I mean, Control. I'm just messing with you. Alan Wake 2 was American Nightmare. I'm just kidding. That was just Alan Wake 1.5. There is no Alan Wake 2, sadly. Oh. But the good news is this game, Control, takes place in the same connected universe as Alan Wake. And we'll dig a little bit more into that later as we're playing it. But needless to say, we will run into Alan Wake in this game later on and learn what happened to him after the events of American Nightmare. So hold on to your horses. Bear with me. If you're here just for the Alan Wake stuff, I'm sorry. It's going to be a while before we get to that. But I suggest you stick through this. I think you'll like it. This is good. This is a good game. Let's begin. No, but seriously, this is a really good game. It's kind of
Fair
weird.
warning. This is gonna be weirder than usual.
I'll let her
Can't
tell
be
you.
helped. You called me. So here I am. I know I shut you out sometimes. I'm always glad to hear from you. It's just that I get my hopes up. So many times it's led to nothing. I found nothing. It's like we live in a room, and there's a poster on the wall. We stare at it and we think that's the whole world. The room and the poster. The picture's something nice. A landscape, a famous person. Like in that movie, what is it called? The prison movie. The room's a cell, and the picture, it's different for each of us. It can be beautiful or terrible, but we're all transfixed. But it's all a lie. Something to distract us from the truth. They're lying to us. We're lying to ourselves. The room's not the world. The world is much bigger and much stranger. There's a hole hidden behind that poster that leads to the real world. We all feel safe in that room. But sometimes something crawls out from behind the poster. And the ones that see it happen freak out and try to forget what they saw. I'm here. Why did you bring me here?
When she says,
Hello?
"Why did you bring me here?" she's
Anyone here?
talking about a there's an entity attached to her, kind of like for those of you familiar with the game Beyond Two Souls. All right. This game is littered with documents. Okay. Now, I'm not going to read all of them because not all of them are important. Some of them I'll just give you a general idea of what it says. Some of them, they are important and I will read them. Anything having to do with Alan Wake, I 100% am for sure going to read because that's going to be important to a lot of you. But this one right here is basically just saying that these types of items are not allowed in the Bureau. And the reason for that is because, well, they could be, they could possibly be objects of power or altered items, which you'll learn more about later. Those are, very weird things. Oh, we have a multimedia collectible already? Oh, no, we don't have any. Okay. Yeah, some of the collectibles are videos. You'll see what I mean when we get to those later. And this is a replay, obviously, because there's no face cam and no editing. And it is being recorded directly on the PS5, so it should look nice and shiny. We don't have to worry about combat yet, thankfully. Here's another
This
collectible.
seal. I saw it a long time ago. I keep seeing it in my dreams.
The Federal Bureau of Control, and that's where we are now. So the Federal Bureau of Control is a place that monitors paranormal events and activities. And one of those paranormal events and activities that got monitored by this place was what happened in Bright Falls in the Alan Wake series. When stuff like that happens, it's considered an altered world event. Now, this at the moment may just seem like a normal FBI bureau, albeit kind of empty and a little quiet, too quiet, you know. Well, there's a good reason for that.
Federal Bureau of Control. All these years I've been looking for them, and they were hiding in plain sight.
Yep. And we don't have our powers yet. We're just normal. Now, pay attention here because... oh yeah, we have to use doors like a normal person for the moment. Don't worry, we'll fix that later. Pay attention here because when we go... we're going to get blocked from being able to come back here. Watch the wall behind me. Oh, see how it got dark? Now look what happens when we go back. Blocked. Can't go back. The walls have shifted. See, this place is weird. Weird is putting it mildly. But stuff like that happens constantly. Constantly around here. The walls move like all kinds of, yeah, this one is too redacted to even read anyways. The walls move. Inanimate objects are lethal and have a mind of their own. And, well, there's even more going on than that. Just wait. Let's see. This is just about R4 reports, which I'm not even entirely sure what that is. But they're just, this exists to give us a bunch of names. Dr. Darling, Miss Marshall, Mr. Salvador, Mr. Kirkland. We'll learn who all they are coming up soon. Anyways. Very, this game is very...
Hello?
exposition heavy. Alright, so this part, this janitor, man, he's a hoot. You're about to get a taste of exactly how weird this game is. Like, this right here, this janitor cutscene is gonna set the tone for you.
Hey, excuse me.
There you are. You are here about the job. Janitor's assistant. You need to go to the interview. Go that way to the elevator.
Thanks. Elevator that way. Got it.
Very good. I'm Ahti, the janitor, by the way. You'll work for me. You can say I sent you. If they don't hire you, then you are no helvet. There be work for the axe. Take them behind the sauna, you malot.
I've done enough night shift loner jobs to know it makes us come off weird. Ahti the janitor is a friendly face in my book.
I agree. It's the normal people you gotta worry about in this game, trust me. Oh, look.
No face.
It turned us around back to where we came from. See? This place is odd. That is some layers of fear type back and forth nonsense, but at least in this game it's explained. This stuff is all considered just
poster.
Stuff like that in this building.
I was 11 years old the first time I saw behind the poster.
It's
they
all
told
just
me I imagined it. I've been trying to pull it down ever since. Will you help?
Well, that's what we're here for. Those opening credits are so cool. Ah, look at that, the elevator and all that too. God, the transitions.
Did I
Okay.
lose you there for a moment? You know what's on my mind. My baby brother, Dylan. 17 years since the men of this bureau took him.
Can't open these doors without a key card. We'll get different clearance level key cards up to level 6 as part of the story. We don't have to go out of our way for them. Let's see. Now this is a list of approved technology. Words, phrases to use. Oh, terminology. Word terminology. Yes. And relating to a Willow AWE. AWE stands for Altered World Event, which is basically a paranormal event that takes place in a specific location. So, like what happened in Alan Wake, that's considered a Bright Falls AWE, Bright Falls Altered World Event. So they're basically just saying when, when talking about the Willow AWE, use these words, avoid these words. So, yeah. Okay. Not gonna get anything out of that. Things are gonna be empty for a minute here, and then the fun will begin. This game has enemies and combat. Yes. Let's see. Oh, that's actually kind of important. It's to Barbara from someone named Trench. You'll learn who Trench is later, but it says, I am not to be disturbed. Cancel all my appointments for the day for the rest of the week. I can't trust them, Barbara, not a single one. You can expect pretty much every episode of this, by the way, to be, close to the hour range. We have a lot of ground to cover, and this game has side quests, too, and there's a lot of back and forth. Uh-oh, what was that? Something went kabang.
Shit. Shit.
The director of the Bureau shot himself.
You want me to pick it up?
Now,
why would he...
Really? Why would he do a thing like that? It's not a murder weapon, it's a suicide weapon, but sure. You see that weird... You see how there's a visual distortion around the gun on the ground there? That's Polaris. That's Jessie's paranormal entity friend that she's talking to when she's having her inner monologue stuff. She's either talking to herself or she's talking to Polaris. And Polaris is the one that led her here to the Bureau in the first place. This Bureau...
Something's outside. Was coming here a mistake?
Oh. This Bureau is also, Jessie and her brother Dylan have history with this Bureau from their childhood.
And there goes the poster.
Objects of power can cause or be results of AWE's altered world events, intrusions upon the perceived reality. Now, the service weapon is, of course, a prime example of an OOP, a very powerful one. Ingrained in the Bureau's DNA, a key component in our prime candidate program. Come out of that Russian roulette a winner and you're it.
Look at this place. Where am I?
You must choose to be the chosen one. So basically, you have to put the gun to your head, pull the trigger, and if you live, then you become the new director of the Bureau. Melee fight. Okay. Well, that's our first ability.
The same gun. Okay, now I have a gun.
And now we have some third-person shooting. Alright, come on. Alright. Alright, cool. All right, and I just want to tell you guys real quick because I'm not afraid to admit it. This game they did patch in a assist mode that you can enable because the game is difficult by default, right? And one of those things is damage reduction multiplier. So basically, the higher you turn that up, the less damage you take when you get hit. Nothing else is enabled. I have everything else. Like you could do one hit kills, immortality. That kind of seems like it would break it, though, right? So nothing else. To me, damage reduction multiplayer is the one you want to change because that will change your difficulty. To me, 70 is easy. Anything above that, and I think you're making it maybe too easy. I would probably maybe go 80 or 90 for very easy, but 100 is the same as turning on immortality. So 70 for easy, 50 for medium, 30 for hard, and then 0 for the game's default difficulty, which is very hard. At least to me it was. Anyways, but I've already beaten this, so and we're just focusing on the story because this is, of course, a replay, and that's what we do on this channel when we do replays is the story. And I know what most of you are here for anyways. It's the Alan Wake stuff. That's what you're here for. You're here for the Alan Wake shit. And it's gonna be a minute before we get to it, but don't worry. We'll get there. But look at it this way. The faster I can get through this, the faster we'll get through it. Okay. But yeah, you're gonna find yourself getting really, really into the story of this along the way, trust me. Thank you. Well, that's Trench. Trench was the old director of the board. Bureau, I mean. The guy who just shot himself.
Duty as director. Keep the Bureau safe.
Did you hear that? It's the dead man. Right after the pyramid spoke to me, and it was just noise, and I understood every word. And this gun's alive. You know what? I'm happy. Happy to be here.
The gun is alive because it is an object
Things
of
have quieted
power,
down outside.
which are basically
Is it safe to
inanimate
go?
objects with paranormal powers. They're sentient and they're dangerous and they can kill people. There's a fridge in this game that if you stop looking at it, it attacks you. Like it hurts you. It's crazy. Stuff like that. I love it. Poor guy. Poor Trench. Anyways, so we have a multimedia collectible now because so every once in a while you'll see those videos like that where he was talking but then like it statics half of the dialogue out. In order to see the entire thing, you have to go to multimedia and watch the full video version of it. Oh no, wait.
Objects of power.
Oh no, never mind. This is that video we saw in the cutscene. We'll get a Trench one in a minute though. Well, time to put this gun to use.
You can't let this happen. 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 You stopped it. You... Oh, thank you. That was... horror.
So Jesse, if you're wondering what just happened there, these things right here that we're fighting, these used to be regular security guards that worked here, and they were possessed by that red mist, and now they're just creatures known as the Hiss. Kind of like the shadow people in Alan Wake, how they get the people get possessed by the shadow, and then they just become shadow monsters that you have to take out. The Hiss are very similar, except they get possessed by this red mist that has come from the astral plane and leaked into the Bureau. So as you can imagine, things are going pretty bad. So what just happened there with Jessie was the mist was trying to take her over and turn her into one of these Hiss things. but her paranormal entity friend, Polaris, prevented that from happening. So Jessie is immune to becoming a hiss, which
The
makes her...
hotline.
Oh,
Secure line of communication. Guidance. Reach the hotline.
okay.
The hotline, says the dead man. Okay.
Okay, so... I guess that didn't count. These enemies seem kind of easy to kill now, sure, but they will get much, much more difficult later, trust me. One of my favorite things about this game, though, is that everything is destructive, pretty much. Look at this. Bam! Oh, that's awesome. Particles everywhere. It really shows off the power of the PS5, too, when it can make all that stuff fly around like that. Look at that. Holy shit, I love it. Okay. It's really at its best, though, when, like, if you look at this desk as I just unleash bullets into it. Look at that wood, look at the wood splinters fly around. Okay, not gonna waste too much time with that. And don't worry, this stuff will, this place is weird. These things will leave and then we'll come back later and all this stuff will be fixed. Well, let's see, dinner reservation is not important. Alright, this blue stuff is health that we can pick up if we need it. These shelters, when you open them, they usually have these, which have crafting materials in them, which can be used for weapon upgrades and stuff like that. And then you have these. Oh, now this is important. This is about AWEs, so I'm going to read it. For Marshall's eyes only. Marshall, we checked out the suspected Altered World event in Duluth. Wasn't anything, just like the house fire before this, and the malfunctioning clothes dryer before that. My team is getting pretty sick of duds. We need to find a better way to sort the fake Altered World events from the real ones. Or you need to rotate these field agents off for a bit. Anyways, we're en route to Sherman Ranch, next one on the list. Let's hope it's a little livelier there. Sincerely, Special Agent Keenum. If I remember correctly, they run into a killer tractor at that ranch, so they're not, you know what they say, be careful what you wish for. Ooh.
The hissing sound that tried to invade me earlier. The hiss. Burrowing into everything in this place.
Yeah.
Is the hiss your enemy? Alright, it's our enemy.
Let's make it
That
so.
is contagious. It burrows in like an infuriating melody that makes you hum it over and over.
Oh. Urban legends. This is a good one. Urban legends are believed to affect the creation of altered materials, but can also dictate the characteristics of an altered world event. Urban legends are understood as the modern evolution of Jung's archetypes. We recognize certain redacted, informed by our own redacted, and popularized by our media. We have additionally proven that urban legends can even be artificially redacted in popular culture using Redacted, our Bureau-made anthology television program. Once the seeds are sown, human imagination excavates the details. Certain paranatural phenomena contain clear elements of popularized folklore, altered world events that only occur on Redacted. A pair of scissors that consume human Redacted through 2 punctures on the Redacted. These details, living in the minds of so many, have been given strength through belief. I'm going to assume that's human blood through punctures on the neck. Urban legends are not just stories for children, they are paranatural realities waiting to happen. So that's part of the thing. Altered world events are partially influenced by cognition, you see. And so, that was just about interrogating people who come to visit. making sure that they're on the up and up, you see. Alright, we'll turn that off. I don't need that to be on. That babbling she's talking about, by the way, is you see all these people that are floating in the air. They haven't become Hiss, but they are stuck, they are, like, possessed by it. And they are just stuck there, forever stuck there, babbling incoherently this nonsense as one possessed hive mind. It's absolutely, positively freaky, and you can put them out of their misery if you want, but it's a little fucked up if you do. Anyways, so yeah, altered world events are influenced by cognition. So in the case of Alan Wake, the Bright Falls altered world event, he directly created it because his typewriter was an object of power, and his stories were the urban legends that came to life in that world, thus in that town, thus creating an altered world event. Oop, we have our first stronger than normal enemy. This combat gets so much better when you get different telekinetic abilities. Yeah, like you get all kinds of special powers. At one point, we get the ability to levitate, and by levitate, I basically mean fly, and it's so cool. Alright.
Must cleanse control points. An enemy. Corrupt. Spreading.
Alright, thanks for the guidance.
Cleanse the control point. What does that mean? Help me fix it.
Thanks for the guidance, trench guy. You're very, very informative for a dead man. Look at that! Now this area is back to normal. We shifted it Inception style.
Holy shit! You did it! We did it!
Hello? Can you hear me? Are you
Hi.
with us? With the Bureau?
I can't tell you how happy I am to talk to somebody sane.
The feeling's mutual. Yeah, I'm Pope, Emily Pope, Dr. Darling's assistant.
My turn. Should I lie? Jesse Faden. I'm just visiting. I should have lied.
Oh, shit. You're the new director. Hold on. We're coming out.
It's weird. How do they already know that she's the new director? That literally just happened. Well, this is the Federal Bureau of Control. That's just how things work here, honestly.
Director Faden.
Call me Jesse.
Okay, Jesse. I'm Emily. Look, somehow this hostile force, this...
Hiss?
that works? Somehow the Hiss managed to infiltrate the building without any warning.
And just like that, my name for it is official. The Hiss. Like the sound of poison gas leaking in.
We're
Appropriate.
in full lockdown. It seems to have spread everywhere and to everyone not protected by an HRA. And, extraordinarily, you. You are the...
By HRA, she means that weird dinner plate thing that she's wearing on her chest. That's an HRA. Protects them from being possessed by the Hiss.
director, and that makes you special by definition. Trench is no longer the director, obviously. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. This whole situation is just a lot.
Trench is dead. Shot.
Ah,
I found his body. And the gun. Do I tell her it looked like a suicide?
the service weapon.
Also, and this can sound crazy, but he keeps appearing to me, saying things. It's hard to make out, but he told me to cleanse the control point, push the Hiss out. The whole room shifted around.
You did that? And you entered the building when it was already in the lockdown before you became the new director? How?
I'm not ready to tell her about you yet.
A
Polaris.
janitor let me in. I love it. This
Close
is
enough.
fucking unbelievable. I can't even... Look, Jesse, I have a million questions, and you probably have a million more.
Like, do you know my brother Dylan? Not
You know they
yet.
do.
But there's something I need to ask you to do first. If you can cleanse a control point, then you can maybe cure those infected or possessed by the hiss. Because if that's possible, our options are very different.
Well, so far,
Emily
not
Pope.
so good.
I don't know her, but I like her already. She's the opposite of the faceless agency I've blamed for what happened to me for so long. But I can't trust her yet. Or rather, the bureau she's a part of.
Given your
Yes.
childhood, I wouldn't blame you.
I can try. I'm speaking for you, of course. We can try it together. Okay.
Without-
You with me?
Without getting
did it
too
before.
into
Push
detail,
the hiss out.
without getting too into detail because I don't want to spoil anything, Jessie and her brother Dylan had a run-in with this bureau when they were kids because of an object of power, a screen projector to be precise. That's all the more I'll say on that for now. Control points. They're locations that the Bureau has identified as being vital junctions of the oldest house. Now, that's an interesting thing, the oldest house, because the oldest house was actually mentioned in Alan Wake. If you remember, there was a couple times Alan mentioned the oldest house, and that was before this game even came out. So back then, they were sowing the seeds for this connected universe, kind of like the MCU. But when appropriate harmonization devices are arranged around the control point in the redacted arrangement, the surrounding area will not experience any unforeseen building shifts. Yada yada. That's all that's important about that one. Basically, the long and short of it is control points are safe zones that when we claim them, we eradicate the hiss from that area, and it becomes a fast travel and upgrade station for us from that point forward. Alright, let's try to cure this person of their hiss possession. Now that did not work. And now she no longer exists.
It didn't work. The hiss has burrowed too deep. Ripping it out rips them apart.
That sucks. That sucks quite a bit.
Jesse, over here. We need to make a plan, Jesse.
I can't cleanse them.
I saw. It was worth a shot. Thank you, Director. Jesse.
I'm gonna tell her why I'm here. I'll risk it.
Listen, the Bureau was involved in an incident in my hometown, Ordinary, 17 years ago. The Bureau came in and covered the whole thing up. I've been looking for this place for a long time.
That's enough. Maybe that's too much already.
And now you're the
Can't tell her
director.
about Dylan and the rest yet.
I've seen mentions of an Altered World event case dealing with Ordinary. You were at Ground Zero as a child? It was one of the big ones.
How
and
do you
before
not
my
know
time.
that?
And very classified.
Oh,
I can
right.
try to dig out some old files for you.
That's right.
My
that's
boss,
right.
Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing. I think he knew this was coming, or suspected. He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. Or a few of us.
I forgot. She's part of the Science
Director
and
Trench
Research
would know.
Division.
Trench,
Executive.
ghost, or whatever he is, he mentioned something called the Hotline. Said I should find it.
It's another object of power, like the gun, an old Bakelite telephone. A direct line of communication between the director and the board. Maybe he can talk to you more clearly through that. I mean, Trench has years and years of experience. He might know how to destroy the hiss.
Where is the hotline?
It's kept in the communications department through the mailroom. It's part of this sector, so we can access it even with the lockdown in place. We'll get the door open for you.
Okay, that's my next stop.
That's Tomasi's department. He's the head of communications. I don't think he had an HRA. He kind of made a point about not wearing one earlier. Keep an eye out.
Well, he's stupid then, because he's gonna pay for that if
They
the
call
hiss
me the
show up.
director. But that's not me. I'm not a director type. I'm not a leader. Why am I here? I think you already know. Yes, I came for my brother, but there are other reasons too. I said I was looking for answers, but I might never understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough. No matter what they told me all those years, I know it's real now. I didn't imagine this. I want to be a part of this world.
Part
What scares
of
me
your
shitless is that I finally
world.
found
Sorry,
it.
I couldn't help myself.
Only to see the hiss destroy it all.
Oh, there's the phone. The hotline phone. It's an object of power. Only the director can use it, though, and it communicates with the board, which is basically that upside-down pyramid that talks to us in garbled nonsense. The board is like a sentient giver of telekinetic powers or whatever.
Look, I know this is all new to you, so don't hesitate to ask me anything you want to know. There are no stupid questions. The door to the comms department is just outside the boardroom back in the lobby. They should have gotten it open by now.
And this, more materials. Kabufodaka. Okay. But yes, I am going to ask you a few questions, Emily, because our audience
The
could
hotline
use...
should be in the communications department.
The more you know, the better.
Where did the hiss come from?
I'm not sure. You said the hiss was here when you entered. Did you see anything like that outside before you came in?
No. No, just inside.
The source is internal, then. See, the oldest house is a sprawling complex with openings to other places as well. I don't even know where to start looking. But in the context, it's good news. The lockdown holds. The hiss escaping the building would be the end. Pretty shitty world out there if you ask me, but I wouldn't want the hiss to destroy it.
With you on that, Emily.
You know, I'm not sure how many remember, because it's been a while since we played Alan Wake here on the channel, but the oldest, not only was the oldest house mentioned, which we're about to learn about here, in Alan Wake, but so was the Federal Bureau of Control, actually. They were mentioned briefly as well.
You mentioned the oldest house. What is it?
This building, the Bureau headquarters, the oldest house, is a shifting place. You've seen it. It transcends its physical limits.
I've been to New York a few times. How didn't I notice this place?
It's an attribute of the building. This is a place of power. The oldest house doesn't like attention, so unless you're purposely trying to find it, you don't, which is perfect for us. The work we do here is essential, but unstable.
That's putting it
Bureau
mildly.
prefers not to be noticed. And we need strong walls to make sure nothing gets out.
So without you, I never would have found the front door.
Okay.
That's true. Polaris led her here. Okay. Now about the previous director.
This Trench guy. I keep hearing him in my head. Is he a ghost? Haunting me?
I doubt we're talking about a ghost in the traditional sense, but an echo maybe. See, if he was killed by the service weapon, your gun, maybe it's his final thoughts recorded by the bullet in his brain, like a deep space probe sending back data. But that's just a hypothesis on my part. I need the gun to research it. But you better hold on to that given the circumstances.
I think I will. Yeah.
Not like you have much choice. it literally chose you.
Can you tell me what an object of power is exactly? This is all, well, new to me.
Don't worry, I love going over the basics. So objects of power are mundane objects that house paranatural energies and have developed a link to the astral plane and can thus be controlled, which is what differentiates them from altered items, which are still housings of paranatural forces, but are more volatile and cannot be bound in the pure utilitarian sense. Got it?
Did she memorize this?
You know what's
Got
funny?
it. Thanks.
A lot of that probably sounded like gibberish to you guys, but I actually understood every last bit of it. I basically explained it earlier in more layman's terms, but like a genuine like, yeah, it's basically objects of power are like, you know, paranatural items. And then altered items are the same thing, but more, like she said, volatile and therefore AKA dangerous. So some of them are completely harmless. They're just mischievous. Some of them give us powers if we take them over, and then other ones are things that we have to capture or destroy before they kill people. All right, one more thing to talk about. The HRAs, why the things these people are wearing that prevent them from being possessed by the hiss.
So HRAs stop you from becoming Hiss.
Wait, it seems that way. I mean, I hadn't even heard of an HRA until a few weeks ago when Dr. Darling started handing them out. Well, I began analyzing mine as soon as I got it. I mean, each one seems to emit a powerful short-range frequency way beyond anything I've ever seen.
Doesn't the timing seem suspicious?
I thought that too. Dr. Darling usually likes to unveil his latest breakthrough in big presentations. With these, he just passed them out. Yeah, his behavior makes me wonder what exactly he knew.
Almost like he knew the hiss was coming. Interesting. Very interesting, yes. Dr. Darling is that wacko scientist guy that we saw in the
Thanks,
live action videos.
I'm sure I'll have more questions soon.
Just let me know.
I think he might actually be being played by Sam Lake, who is the guy behind this game and Alan Wake. Let's see, I'm not exactly sure how many side areas here I can actually explore at the moment, because some of them will be locked up, and I already did this spot right here. But some of these areas will remain locked to us until we have the right key card or whatever, and then when we come back, we can get into them, because, you know. Or abilities. There are certain areas that we won't be able to access or get through without certain abilities helping us out. See, like here we need a level 4 key card before we can get in there. More extras. So this game actually has two graphics modes, performance mode and, well, there's performance mode and graphics mode. The difference is performance mode is in 60 frames and no ray tracing, and graphics mode is in 30 frames with ray tracing and graphical fidelity. Now, I'm going with performance mode because this game benefits from having a higher frame rate because of the nature of the shooting and stuff and all of the action and stuff going on. Shifted bathroom complaint. Listen, I know you can't control building shifts, but the executive level restroom has been missing for weeks now. I worked my ass off on the Islamabad station for 3 years. I've earned the right to a nice workplace shitter. If you can't bring it back, at least find out where it went. Yes, downside of working in a building that's constantly shifting its walls around. That's because the oldest house, this building, the Bureau, is alive. It's sentient. It's much like all objects of power. This entire building is an object of power. This shit's crazy. You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to work in a place like this. Fuck that. No matter how bad things get, I still value living. So, yeah. Alrighty, Rooney. Skabaladifiblaka. Alright, Polaris, I'm coming. Ow. Alright, broke my ankles.
There it is again. A welcome message.
Yes. Need a key card. Wait, do we have a key card? We do not. Not yet. Okay. I think we get to some fighting here in a second. Oh. Hi, peekaboo. The other thing is, this game doesn't really need to be, doesn't really need to have, it has HDR no matter what, but ray tracing, this game doesn't need ray tracing to look good. And I think it's not necessary for this game anyways, because this game benefits from having kind of a gritty look to it. That's why I kept the film grain on, because it has that kind of weird, like, old X-Files vibe, you know? Cannot go that way, and we will not be able to go that way for a long time.
It's overpowering here. You don't want me anywhere near it. With you on that.
This game is kind of Metroidvania in the sense that the whole game takes place in like one area, and you go back and forth. You go back and forth between the same floors of this building a lot, kind of like Resident Evil 2. You know, you're in the same building throughout the whole game pretty much, but you go back and forth between different floors. Let's see. Okay, yeah, this is just color-coded for building shifts. Bathrooms usually have collectibles. Or something. I was hoping we would get to the hotline by the end of this episode, but I don't think we're going to. That's okay. It's been almost an hour. It's been almost 50 minutes, and I feel like we've covered no ground. I mean, we've covered a lot of ground, but there's a lot to this game, trust me. Oh, and the time will fly by. It'll just fly by. Dead letters. Every time we reach a new area on the map, that BWOM thing comes up with the text in the... Oh, I love it. It's so cool. Ooh, this enemy has a shield. Gotta take his shield down before we can take his regular health down. Yes, they're going to slowly but surely give us a little bit of that. Control point we need to cleanse. Alright. The music stopped, which means... Gaboofahakis. Love it. Let's see, that needs a level 2 key card. So we can't go there yet. We can go in here though. Oh, and we can watch this video. But I'm not going to do it that way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it up in the collectibles here, and I'm going to let you watch it in full screen, because it's better that way.
Just look at it. 8 inches wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes. This is not the disk, of course, but one exactly like it. A perfect fusion of concepts vibrating in the Cold War era collective unconscious. A receptacle. It is a receptacle for dangerous energies to hone in on. And they did. We don't have the details, but when things started flying around the disk, it was transferred to us. It's an object of power. OOP. Oops. Oh, and it can launch things telekinetically through the air. To date, we've launched maybe 3 dozen pencils. And once, we even launched a cup. 8 inches wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes.
Every time we pull up one of those videos, and it's not just him, there'll be other videos too. In fact, I think I should look at multimedia. Okay, no, it's just gonna be those two. All right. But anytime one of those videos pulls up, or an audio log, there's audio logs too. I'm just going to pull them up in the full screen mode from the collectibles menu because it's better that way, in my opinion. Book club. Not important. Okay, this this shit right here, I have to warn you ahead of time, this is straight up nightmare fuel. This is like, don't hug me, I'm scared type stuff. These little weird puppet videos are PSAs by the Bureau, and they're meant to like scare people into, you know, following the rules of this place, the very strict rules. And yeah, this stuff is just so weird.
Stepping to the FBC, there's lots to do, there's lots to be, but you don't dash and don't scream much. Let's join the Threshold Kids. Let's join the Threshold Kids.
Hey, Meg! What's wrong?
My mom's dead.
I'm so sorry, Meg. What happened?
I don't know. They blacked it out.
It's like the director says. Confidential and children both start with C.
And the director's a puppet. A dirty, rotten, fart person.
Dad says my mama went missing in actions. She walked into the city and didn't come back. I don't know what missing in actions is, but I sure wish someone would find her.
I'll help you look, Topher. We'll find your mama together.
What the fuck is this game? I love it. I love it. You guys may remember that this game made my top 10 games of 2019. Yes, yes it did. It definitely did. Oh, did I already pick this up? I thought I picked this up. Dead Presidents. To whom it may concern, I am being contacted by the past presidents of the United States of America. They appear as spirit guides, giving me their wisdom. John Adams keeps saying I need to fix America, but I can't really understand him. They all have a lot of opinions. People tell me I'm imagining it, but Theodore Roosevelt showed me how to fix my lawnmower, and I don't know a thing about lawnmowers. Explain that! I have a great dead man telling me about the past and the present. If you'd like to use my abilities to help run up the government, please let me know. I know the White House could use me. Yours in earnest, James Bartholomew. Yeah, probably a side effect of working in this place, for sure. He ended up probably object of power or something screwing with him, to be honest. Greetings, Director Trench. I'd like to thank you for approving my request for the Dead Letters Archive. Cataloging the Bureau's collection of delinquent mail will provide an extremely handy database that research teams can use to search for any connections or related topics found among the letters. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so this section of the Bureau, Dead Letters, is specifically a place where they infiltrated any incoming or outgoing mail to look for potential whistleblowers or crazies or persons of interest, stuff like that. That's what it was. So it's called Dead Letters because this is where letters go to die. It's actually quite literal. Singing fish. Mr. Governor, so some of the letters that we've been picking up and reading here, like dead presidents and singing fish, they're dead letters. They're letters that never got to where they were being sent because they were being sent from an employee outside of here, and they were releasing confidential information in these letters. I called the police, but they never come to my house. I got a problem, and you gotta send folk to fix it. I got my wife, one of them, singing fish on the walls. It's not a real fish. It sings when you hit a button, but it's got the devil in it. It flies around at night and sings devil songs, says a lot of cuss words. The devil got in my house 'cause of the fish, and you gotta come handle it. My wife is real upset. When can you come? I think that was actually an incoming letter. All right. And I went in here already? Correct. I am about out of time.
Communications.
Communications.
We're on the right track.
Yes, communications is the next way to go. However, I am out of time, so we're going to have to call it here for this episode. Thankfully, these control spots work as save points as well, too. Plus, the game auto-saves at key moments a lot. So, anyways, that'll be it for this first episode of Control. Nothing Alan Wake related yet, but don't worry, we'll get there, I promise. But hopefully you're into this game itself so far. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know if you're enjoying it so far. And it might be a little slow to start, but trust me, it gets really, really good. It gets so good. God, I love this game. All right. If you enjoyed the video, remember to go ahead and leave it a like. And as always, thank you all so much for watching. And I will catch you possibly on another day, definitely at another time, and likely in another video. Okay, goodbye.